going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign of what's going to happen.
So that I think that the internet is going to be one of the major forces for reducing the role of government. The one thing that's missing, but that will soon be developed, is a reliable e-cash, a method whereby on the internet you can transfer funds from A to B without A knowing B or B knowing A. The way in which I can take a $20 bill and hand it over to you, and there's no record of where it came from. And you may get that without knowing who I am. That kind of thing will develop on the internet, and that will make it even easier for people to use the internet. Of course, it has its negative side. It means that the gangsters, the people who are engaged in illegal transactions will also have an easier way to carry on their business.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher Stock Channel. And guys, this video is just going to make you think. Of course, right now, Bitcoin is all over the news, so I said I'll bring you a video just to make you think. It was a protocol called Liberty Reserve, moving over $6 billion. So that means that this protocol was moving way fast. As we know, Bitcoin is slow, clunky, cannot be used in the payment system that we have right now. But Liberty Reserve was before Bitcoin and moving, that's right, $6 billion. But of course, the government came down on them, said, of course, money laundering, drug dealing. As we know, the banks are what? The biggest drug dealing, gun running, money laundering son of a guns. But we know how it goes. But central banks took over Bitcoin at that time. They started closing down all types of exchanges and seized a lot of Bitcoin. So the government got all this Bitcoin for free. They didn't have to pay not 1 cent. If you listen to Tim Draper a lot, he says he got his Bitcoin in an auction. So we know the government already had plenty of Bitcoin, guys, for free. And we look at the price right now, and of course we know the central banks are running this price up. But I just want you to see the big picture, because we know when it comes to the New World Order, everything is planned out. Have a wonderful day.
This was the website that customers used to make their deposits through Liberty Reserve, based in Costa Rica. And this is what those depositors saw after it was shut down by authorities. 7 people were indicted, including Liberty Reserve's brainchild, Arthur Budovsky, a former U.S. citizen, arrested together with an associate in Spain. Another was picked up in New York.
By indicting Liberty Reserve and its principals, restraining over $25 million in criminal proceeds, forfeiting domain names, and seizing servers in countries around the globe, our message is clear. Money launderers can run, but they can't hide from U.S. law enforcement.
Liberty Reserve had about 1 million users worldwide, processing 55 million transactions and allegedly laundering $6 billion in criminal proceeds.
It was essentially a black market bank. As alleged, Liberty Reserve deliberately operated in a way to attract and aid criminals who wished to use digital currency to break the law and to launder the proceeds of their crime.
To open an account with a website, no verifiable identification was required, and account numbers were hidden even from Liberty Reserve itself. Third-party exchanges located in lightly regulated Asian and African countries would handle the deposits and money transfers. In this way, authorities said, drug dealers, child pornographers, identity thieves, and other criminals could hide their profits. Among Liberty Reserve's clients, the gang that authorities say recently raided bank cash machines across the globe in a coordinated heist that netted $45 million in cash. Tom Ackerman, Al Jazeera.
He's a cybercrime consultant at hackerforhire.com. Greg, thanks for joining us. Let's talk about the victims first. What happens to their money? Is it just tough? Is it all gone?
Well, the United States got that money. Who's going to come and claim it? I mean, once the United States seized the money and it's illegal money, they knew exactly once they shut down Liberty, this is going to be more income for the United States. So the money's not going back to the people. No one's going to come and claim the money.
Now, you had a client apparently from Cyprus. He was blackmailed. He had to send money through Liberty Reserve. How did that work?
Yes, I had a banker client who came to us because he was being extorted and blackmailed online, and he wanted us to find the person who did it, and we tracked him back to the Ukraine. But there was nothing we can do in time but go ahead and send the money. So when we thought we would be able to track them to send the money through banks or through PayPal, they wanted us to use Liberty Reserve, and that was the first time I've heard of Liberty Reserve. Over the years, though, I found that Liberty Reserve has not just been used for online transactions, but even human trafficking as well. So if somebody was selling another person. How does somebody like
me not get caught by something that looks pretty legitimate? And how do you regulate it?
Well, there's no way of regulating it. I mean, it's like regulating the internet. There's no way of actually regulating banking or outside of the United States. Every country has it, but there's no regulation on banks on the internet like that. So who would be in charge of that? And for you to be caught, it's like if you are a criminal, Liberty never asked who you really were. You're anonymous.
So great for them, huh?
If somebody dropped the dollar, on the ground and somebody came and picked it up, you don't know who that dollar belongs to, and that's how Liberty worked. So if you opened up an account under any name, including Barack Obama, that was your account.
Okay. Where does it leave something like Bitcoin, that digital currency?
Well, see, digital currency is getting bigger and bigger. From PayPal's, Bitcoins, and Liberty Reserves, and all of those, there's going to be more and more of those popping up because more people who go online to shop, to pay their bills, they're going to not use their credit cards. They're going to be using these digital reserve places like the PayPal's, who keeps the person anonymous. You can set up an account with PayPal right now, and you don't have to give your social security number or even a real name if you think about it. But PayPal will try to verify other means to prove who you are via your bank account or your credit card. So there is some regulations there. But again, anyone can go to a store and buy a prepaid credit card and use any name that they like and set up with an account.
Japanese police have arrested the head of the Mt. Gox Bitcoin exchange, Mark Karpeles. This comes after a series of fraud allegations led to the exchange's spectacular collapse and hammered the digital currency's reputation. A spokesman for the Tokyo police says France-born Karpeles is suspected of manipulating data on the exchange's computer system in 2013 to create about $1 million. Japanese media say police are also investigating his possible involvement in the 2014 disappearance of nearly $390 million worth of bitcoins at current exchange rates. The global virtual currency community was shaken by the shuttering of Mt. Gox. The firm froze withdrawals